Alright boys, welcome back to a new video. Right, I've said this multiple times, not on YouTube necessarily, but I've said this multiple times to my friends and family and stuff, and I'll say it again for you lot. That's alright, isn't it? Yeah. 2026 is going to be a really good year. But what I've come to realise is that it's not going to be a good year unless we actively choose to make it a good year. So I've seen a lot of videos of like, oh, dating is impossible in 2026. Finding a job will be impossible in 2026. Doing this and that when 2026 there's no point to it anymore. And I get why they make those videos, and I get it. I get it's a struggle out here. It can be difficult, right? But I personally am of the belief that 2026 for some reason is going to be just a spectacular year. All right, I'm stating that now because I do truly believe it. But I've also come to realize that it's not going to be a good year if we as people and as individuals don't make it a good year, and don't make the most of the time that we have this year, or the time that we have for the rest of our lives. This is applicable to life, but it's also just this year. So I've broken down a couple things that I've done, and a couple I want to talk about some rules that I've set for myself and personal goals that I have, that I think can be applicable to people who are watching this video, and people who, you know, are feeling a bit down in the dumps, feeling a bit hopeless about 2026, or feeling a bit hopeless about the new year, or about the future, or whatever. And there's going to be, about halfway through the video, there's going to be a contradictory point, and that's very much intended, but you'll see why. Now, my first point is finding a purpose and finding a new thing. Finding a new thing that you like, a new hobby, a new passion, a new interest. Even your purpose even could be a new friend group, or a new friend, or a new significant other, or getting to know a member of the or a section of the family better, or something like that. It doesn't have to be like an object, like a thing. It can be a person or like group of people that's your objective to, you know, upgrade your social life, or upgrade your physical self, upgrade your mental health, like to improve mental health, basically just find a purpose, find something that you want to do, and make sure that every day you're doing something that supports that and is progressing you throughout that journey. So what I haven't done, I didn't do it last year, but I've done it years before, and I've done it this year as well, is I've literally written personal goals of mine on notes. What I've done this year, however, is I've written quite a lot of goals, but they're very achievable. But they're all very achievable, and they're all personal goals. They're not like, you know, the obvious, like, oh, you know, do well in uni. I'm going to do well in uni, of course. That's a given. I'm going to do well in uni. But I've set myself, like, read at least minimum one non-fiction book and one fiction book a month. So at the bare minimum, at my worst month of the year, I will still read one fiction and one non-fiction book a month. That is the baseline. As well as I'm doing film production, so I don't watch movies. I literally don't watch movies. So I've tasked myself with watching 5 movies and /or 2 TV shows in a month. Yeah, but at least actively be watching. And I'm not talking about like passive watching. I engage, so I don't want to sound pretentious, but because I'm obviously a film student and I'm learning film language, if you will, I engage with films and TV shows a bit different than like a passive viewer would. There's nothing wrong with being a passive viewer. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've got my passive films and my active films that I watch. But, you know, films like Pulp Fiction, Interstellar, Oppenheimer, stuff like that, those types of films, Goodfellas, The Godfather, I actively watch those. I'm not passively watching them. I'm very much engaging with the film language and the narrative and, you know, the production and all that stuff. So me actively watching 5 movies a month, that's an achievable goal, yes, but obviously that's on top of my uni work, on top of my social life, on top of quite a few things. And also, I've said no more love handles. If you don't know what love handles are, they're the physical on your body. They're your waistline and you've got a bit of extra fat at the sides. They're love handles. I want to get rid of my love handles by May, but I'm going to change that to March, because I think by March I should be able to get rid of them, to be honest. When it comes to like my gym stuff, I don't really work with numbers, to be honest. I prefer not to. It just makes me insecure and shit. So I avoid the numbers. I work with the visuals, and I just look at myself and I'm like, yeah, I'm making progress. I will eventually like gradually count the calories and stuff, but yeah. So yeah, set yourself goals and set yourself achievable goals, and find something that you want to do. And if you haven't found it already, find something you want to do. If you found something you want to do, make every day count towards that in some capacity. You're gonna have bad days, but make every day count to that in some capacity. So yeah, that's very important. Sticking to a purpose, sticking to a goal, and having an end goal in mind. Or, you know, even just having an end goal for the next week in mind, or the next month in mind, or the next, you know, for this year in mind. Not for like your whole life, even just for this year. So yeah, that's number one. Number two is kind of a very general thing of mine. Is get a routine and stick to it. Doesn't matter what the routine is. Doesn't matter if you wake up at 9 a.m. and have a super productive day, or if you wake up at 7 a.m. and have an equally productive day and go to bed at like 8 p.m. because you're so tired. Yeah. Just make every day a structured day. And, you know, do the basics, you know. Shower in the mornings or evenings. Make your bed. Classic, you know, basic shit. And then add your own stuff on top of that. So it could be literally whatever. It could be anything, right? But yeah, make a routine. Make a routine that you can stick to. But yeah. The next point is going to contradict that quite a lot, but I'll get to that in a bit. Number three is break your routine. I know, contradictory as fuck. I know. Break your routine at least once to twice a week. The reason I say this, it's good to have a routine. It's good to have a thing to fall back on, a routine to fall back on when you're living your normal life, right? But time flies, man. Time flies when you get older. Do you know why time flies when you get older? It's because we start doing the same shit every day. Clock in, clock out. Breakfast at this time, dinner at this time, bed at this time. Movie, before bed, doom scroll, go to sleep, wake up, repeat. The same thing. We do the same thing every damn day, guys. And that's why, in our minds, the days blend in together. We don't even know what fucking day it is. We don't even know what day it is. The days blend together and they become one. And before you know it, January becomes July, July becomes October, October becomes January. Alright? So, break your routine. Once or twice a week, go out, do something fucking crazy. Not too crazy. Be sensible, but, you know, break the routine. Break the routine a little bit. Or change it up. So you can start appreciating those little things. Like, for example, I used to shower every morning, every day, right? And now I shower every night, every day. But yeah, even stuff like that, break your routine and break the cycle. Because once you break the cycle, this is you, right? I'm doing the Stranger Things type shit, right? This is you, right? And this is life as it should be lived. If you go, you've now stopped and you're now standing here, and what do you have to do? Oh, look around. Appreciate the little things, appreciate life, appreciate the shit around you. You know, phone up a friend for an hour. Like, just do something that breaks the cycle. Even have a day off. By a day off, I mean, literally, like, don't have like a traditional day off. I mean, like, go outside, go out for a day, even on your own. Just call someone up, bell someone up and be like, hey, would you like to come out with me this time, 12 o'clock, town centre, we'll have lunch, we'll have coffee, and we will go to the park. We'll go to the park, sit there for a bit, go to the pub, you know, have one drink. You don't have to have crazy shit. You can have a fucking fizzy pop soda if you want. You don't have to go to the pub to drink. But break the routine, because it will make you slow down. When you're stressed, have a day off and have a break in the routine, because trust me, it's just going to help you so much. And also just cherish the days. Cherish the days, the slow days, the fast days, the stressful days, the happy days, the sad days. Cherish all of it. Live your life. We need to start living our lives by the day, not by, oh yeah, this month I'm going to do, no. All right. That's 30 days. All right. That is so much time. Realize how much time that is? So live life by the day, I think, and break the routine. That is something that I'm trying to kind of do now, is just make every day different in some way. Make every day somewhat different. You know, go out and do this. And this comes back to the hobby thing, right? If you have different hobbies, you can do one hobby one day, the next day, and you can be like, oh, this week I did this, and this, and I met up with this person, I saw this person. Oh, I went on a date, I did this, I studied for a bit, I read this book, and you'll realise you've remembered something from every one of those days of the week. There's 7 days in the week. You shouldn't be like, oh, what did I do on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Like, we shouldn't be living like that. I'm speaking to myself as well. We shouldn't be living like that. We should be living the days. We should be appreciating the days. I'm just going to add a point here. So on New Year's Eve, we were all pissed, right? We're all drunk. My cousin's boyfriend comes up to me and he's like, James, you need to hear this. And I think you're the only one who's going to listen to this. And he said, what did he say? He said, you know what? My life it's not been a straight line. It's been literally point A, journey, and then whoosh, like, it's literally been like that. And then he's got to point B. So he's ended up where he's wanted to be, but he got there in such a weird way. He told me his whole life story. Basically, his roundabout point was, it doesn't matter how you're going to get there and how doesn't matter right now. It's the fact that you have to know and you have to be confident in yourself that you're going to get to a certain point in life. You're going to get to where you want to be in life. And it doesn't matter how you're going to get there. The confidence that you will get there will make you literally want to achieve that more. Like, we are going to get to the end of 2026 with something that we wanted, something that we didn't have. We are going to have that by 2026. Whether that be a job that you really wanted, a business startup that you really wanted, a school that you wanted to get into, a girlfriend or boyfriend, a good group of friends, getting your first film commissioned, dream, starting the YouTube channel, whatever, doesn't matter. The fact is, you're going to get there. Don't make it become a delusion thing. Make it become it needs to come from a confidence thing. It's like, I know I'm going to get here. I know I'm going to get to this place. So yeah, the fact is, you set your mind to something, you can do it. So in my generation, there's this kind of weird thing. We're so pride-filled. We've all got a bit of main character syndrome, I think. And we need to shake that. We need to get rid of it. Please. We need to get rid of that main character syndrome and start just being a bit more selfless and start... I think Gen Z is the loneliest generation, and there's a reason for that. There's social media and there's obviously there's multiple reasons for that. But at the end of the day, it's down to us. Like, it's down to us to stretch a hand out and be like, do you want to, like, come out sometime? Do you want to go to the pub? Do you want to grab coffee? Do you want to set up a group event? Do you want to come around mine for a movie? I'll grab some popcorn. We'll have a movie night. Bring the boys. And yeah, let's do it. There's, especially, like, this is a me thing, I think. But I think I've watched the videos, especially last year, of people saying, and millions of people relating to these videos of people saying, I'm so lonely, I have no friends. I know what, everyone is so selfish, everyone is so kind of like, stuck in their own way and stuck in their own world. We need to get out of our own world and live in the actual real world where there other people exist. And we need to just start, you know, stretching a hand out and being like, you know, do you want to pop out? Do you want to just, do you want to be friends? Like the classic, like, you know, when we were kids, like, we used to literally spit on our hands and make an oath, like, yeah, we're best friends now. Like, what? Like that shit. I'm not saying we bring that back, but the idea is there. The idea is there that we are now friends, we are now buddies, we got each other's back, and I can call on you and you can call on me whenever you want, all right? But we need to bring also fit actual relationships, like non-texting relationships. I don't, especially when if I'm talking to a girl, right? I don't see the point in messaging her consistently for any more than 3 days before we meet up. I will say to her like, oh, you know, I think you're cute, I think this, blah, blah, and then she'll say, oh, thanks, yeah, and I'll go, do you want to, you know, grab coffee sometime, or do you want to do this sometime? She'll go, yeah, sure. What time? I'll go, yeah, this, that, and the other. We'll set up the date, boom, done. And that's it. That's all that I find necessary to do. That's probably a bit of the tism. And it's also probably a bit of the tism that I really do feel, I have felt the past couple of years, that in Bournemouth, where I study, I find that, you know, I have friends like around the corner from me. I've got housemates, I've got this and that and the other. I have no problem really socialising and stuff. I don't really find myself getting lonely necessarily in Bournemouth. But in my hometown, which is quite small, quiet, and I had to kind of remove a lot of toxic, shitty people from my life. I'm often getting quite lonely. So I just think like, you know, and I have friends in, it's weird, I have friends in, but they're not exactly friends. Like we don't go out all the time together. We don't do all this shit. But I'm starting to think like we should, because there's no point shutting myself off. There's no point to it. We're living on a floating rock, and I might as well just say to people, right? Do you want to pop out? Do you want to come around mine movie night, or come around mine to watch the football? You know, whatever. That's a bad example. Not the football, but like the, I don't know, UFC fight or the boxing match. Let's watch it together. Let's bring your boys. I'll bring mine. You know, or, you know, living room, it'll be catered, stuff like that. Just bringing back the sense of community that I think Gen Z's kind of been lost. How we've lost that sense of community and that sense of like actual friendship and selflessness. We've had it lost for a while, because my thing is, I was so scared. The reason why I never let my hand out before, I was so scared of leaning my hand out and it being slapped away or rejected. I'm very closed off and very guarded and very distrusting of people because I've been fucked over in the past. But I just think like I need to change that, because I think a lot of us need to change that as well, because we're humans, we're social creatures. We need to have that connection, and you know, a lot of us want relationships. I got this from Twin Peaks, the best show on the planet. I got, you know, there's this character called Audrey, and she's in love with Dale Cooper, who's like, she's 16, he's 30. He's not in love with her at all. He's the one who says to her, Audrey, you don't need a relationship right now. What you need is a friend, someone who you can talk to, someone who's there for you. And that's what we all need. Do things for the sake of doing things as well. Do nice things because there's a nice thing to do. For example, if you've got a sibling and you know their favourite chocolate, go out and buy them their favourite chocolate. Just say, here you go, here's your chocolate. And they'll go, what's that for? Nothing. It's not for anything. I'm showing you my appreciation for you, or doing it because the fact that you're happy is making me happy. It's like stuff like that, you know, the little things. I think we can all be a bit more like that and stuff like that. But yeah,